Hey everyone, it is me, Crystal, and I am here today with you for this amazing masterclass, the um, Loving Life, Manifesting the Dream Version masterclass. So hopefully we'll have some folks hopping in here in just a few moments. Just want to put a welcome up there on the screen. And I'm going to move this around so that I'm not being blocked by, let's see, it's so confusing because it's the opposite way. All right. So if I move this way, you guys should be able to see me better. All right. Perfect. All right. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put that back up there. And so, yes, I'm super excited to get started with this program today. So I'm going to give everybody just another few minutes to hop in, and then I'm just going to get rolling with this information. So as you know, we are just on the heels of the 7-day self-love challenge. And with that challenge, hopefully everybody who participated with that came away with some deeper insights into some of their soul level intentions, things that they definitely want, from a soul level, and also awareness of things that they've been telling themselves to hinder their own progress towards having a deeper experience of self-love and more, more experiences, preferred experiences in life. So we're now taking that information that we uncovered over the course of those 7 days. And if you didn't do the 7-day self-love challenge, that's okay. You can still go back and watch those videos and do that challenge for yourself. But we're going to take those intentions today, and we're going to supercharge those intentions and learn a new technique for really creating an alchemy with your words and manifesting experiences that really match the feeling of that energy, that vibration of self-love, and all the things that that can bring. So I'm going to just drink some water here. And I welcome your questions as we go along. So please feel free to post your questions if you have any. Let's type that in here. And, oops, I guess I should say ask. Feel free to ask questions. As we go along. We will have an actual workshop period toward the end. And so I invite you to make sure you have pen and paper handy, and just get someplace that you can be, undisturbed for a little while and that you can relax. And without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this presentation. Okay. Let's see here. There we go. All right. So today we're talking about the simple concept of practice. This is the self-love series. And so in the self-love series, we're definitely approaching all of this from the standpoint of bringing more love into your own being and the things that you can experience as a result of that. And I'm going to share some thoughts and concepts of things that I gained as I as I went along my process and my journey as well. But what this slide represents here, you see an astronaut kind of out in space, and I always like to share this first because it really, for me, it was really a powerful revelation of what my body, my physiology, what my brain chemistry, what my brain actually is doing, sometimes to hinder me or to help me as I'm trying to make changes, as I'm moving through my processes of wanting to make habit changes. And so I'm just going to read this article to you guys. And so back in the early days of the space program, NASA designed an experiment to determine the physiological and psychological effects of the spatial disorientation the astronauts would experience in the weightless environment of space. NASA needed to know if the environment of space would have some unexpected negative consequences that would endanger the astronauts or their mission. Would they black out and be unable to function? Would they experience some psychotic event that would leave them incapacitated? NASA scientists outfitted each of the astronauts with a pair of convex goggles, which flipped everything in their field of vision 180 degrees. In other words, their world was literally turned upside down. The astronauts had to wear the goggles 24 hours a day, 7 days per week, even when they were asleep. Although they experienced physical symptoms of anxiety and stress initially, elevated blood pressure, respiration, and other vital signs, they gradually adapted to their new realities. On the 26th day of the experiment, something amazing happened for one of the astronauts. His world turned right side up again, even though he continued to wear the goggles 24 hours a day. Between days 26 and 30, the same thing happened for each of the remaining astronauts. What the scientists discovered is that after 26 to 30 days of this continuous stream of new input, the astronauts' brains actually created neural pathways that rewired their brains to see their worlds normally again. Then NASA repeated the experiment with a slight change. This time, some of the astronauts took the goggles off for a short period of time partway through the experiment. When they put the goggles back on and left them on until the 30th day, their worlds were still upside down. But when they continued on at 26 to 30 consecutive days wearing the goggles, the same thing happened. Everything was suddenly right side up again. What the scientists learned from these experiments is that the brain requires approximately 30 uninterrupted days for new neural connections to form, for new habits to form. In order to change a habit, it's crucial that you put systems in place to ensure you follow the new behavior you have chosen. Otherwise, without thinking, you'll revert back to the old behavior. So pretty powerful stuff there. That was, definitely something that kind of shifted my way of thinking about what I was doing back in the early days of, sort of getting into doing this type of work for myself. And so, don't know how I did that. Okay. So you can see all the different video screenshots there that I just kind of jumped in with my own practice of, really beginning to implement some of the tools and things that I was learning. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about that. So I was, back 3 or 4 years ago, listening to a lot of Abraham Hicks and learning, we kind of a lot of us got into the law of attraction and The Secret and all that kind of stuff. And so for me, it was really just, it was really interesting. The information really resonated with me. And so I listened to it a lot, but, I wasn't really implementing, any of the information. It was just, it resonated. I thought this was cool, but there came a point in time when I realized that if I was going to actually experience anything different, I needed to begin to start to do some of the things that I was listening to and reading about. And so I began to do that. There was one specific video that I saw on YouTube, Abraham Hicks, and they were talking about, doing a consistent practice of waking up every morning and just kind of resetting your pattern of thought first thing in the morning and reaching for a better feeling, reaching for a better thought, even if it was simple things that were not related to any specific issue you were having. So, for example, waking up in the morning and just being aware of how comfortable the bed is, and how nice it is to see the sunlight coming in the window, and just different things like that. Just appreciating what you could appreciate in the moment. And so I began to do that, and lo and behold, within a week or so, I started to have all this synchronicity, different things happening, just having more pleasant experiences, and things that were remarkable to me, because it was so different. And so I just really started to implement doing these 30-day challenges over and over and over and over. And I can tell you there's a list of things that that doing this really helped me do. One, of course, was bringing more love for myself into my life. But of course, there was healing of emotional trauma. I began to have enhanced vitality, energized physical activity. My moods were elevated. I had elevated self-awareness. I had an enhanced ability to love myself and have love and compassion for others. It deepened my practice of spiritual growth, increased my ability to be in the present moment, aware of the power of now, improved my memory. I had relief from pain. I had more contentment, better sleep, improved ability to make healthy lifestyle choices, which was huge. I had began to have more courage to live my dreams. I began to have the ability to communicate more clearly, and I had enhanced creativity, and so many more things came out of this continuing practice of working on myself in this way. So I had a big aha moment, and I made this little meme over here, and it was a quote from Abraham Hicks, and it says, "Decide before you make it true if it's something you want, because you can make anything you want true for you." And I'm going to really jump in here and show you how that statement is true and what you can do to actually bring that awareness to yourself and begin to have experiences that show you that it's true. You don't have to believe anything I say. Your experiences, your experiment will show you, and that is better than believing. That's really creating something within your own self, right? So that's what we're here to do. So I'll share with you what all those months of practice really did for me and what that aha moment was. But first, I want to talk about a few foundational things that will help you to achieve your mission to make the changes that you want to make. Okay, I'm going to just hop back over here because on that screen I can't see who else here. So again, if you're here, say hello. You can post questions and comments throughout, and I'm going to keep checking in to answer questions. Okay. All right. So let me pop back over here. You know. Okay. Bring my notes back up. So I got inspired. Of course, I think we all get inspiration in various different ways. I got inspired from some of the business things that I was pursuing as an entrepreneur. I'm, kind of all about business stuff and very practical things, as well as very spiritual things. So these two books kind of jumped out at me. And so I like to share a little bit about them just because I think it's nice to have that kind of foundation, and something that I'd love to do is share resources. So these are some resources that you can look into for yourself. So first of all, this book, The One Thing, it really talks about the one thing, and again, this is a business book, so it's about, creating success and results in your life and your business. However, I thought that it was really very applicable to doing inner work as well. And so it talks about the one thing that you can do, that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary. And it says that, behind every successful person is their one thing. No matter how success is measured, personal or professional, only the ability to dismiss distractions and concentrate on your one thing stands between you and your goals. And the one thing is about getting extraordinary results in every situation. So I, again, discovered something that I think can be anybody's one thing. And because it is such a high level activity, it really does have the potential to bring change in a lot of different aspects of life. And you can use it for anything that you're really wanting to achieve. And I will share that with you here in just a few minutes. The other book is The 4 Disciplines of Execution. Again, it's a business book, but it created for me a framework for actually doing the work that I was doing. And I realized that, I was pretty much already doing it, but this really helped me to see the power and the potential of actually deliberately doing these 4 steps. And so the 4 steps, the 4 disciplines of execution are, number 1, identifying and focusing upon the wildly important goals or intentions. In our case, it's the dream version of your life, and bringing more self-love into your being. Number 2 is to take specific lead actions to achieve the goal. Well, the lead action is doing things that will bring you to more states of self-love. That will do it. I'm going to definitely tell you exactly how that works as we go along. Number 3 is to keep a compelling personal record of your progress. So, and I'll share with you more about that. And then number 4 is to have accountability partners. And these 4 steps were adapted from this book. But again, these were things that I feel like I was already doing. It just really helped me to understand it from a more deliberate place. Okay. So, and of course, energy healing is really crucial to this whole thing. I wonder if I put that someplace else in this presentation, but I'm gonna just tell you right now some thoughts that came to me this morning about energy work and what we're really doing when we're talking about energy healing. And I personally have a lot of influencers, so I would say that, Dr. Brad Nelson and Bruce Lipton, Louise Hay, Abraham Hicks, Peter Fraser, these are some of the people whose work I really follow closely. Even, Lisa Nichols and Michael Bernard Beckwith. I mean, definitely, there's a lot of influencers out here. And so I tuned in with a lot of depth, and I really began to pay attention to what they were talking about, but I also began to develop a practice of implementation of things that really resonated within me, to the point where most of what I do now is internally based. It's all through the practice that I'm going to share with you guys, really looking inside and getting really deeply in tuned with my own voice and learning how to hear my own voice, the voice of my higher self. And that brings me a lot of very high level, very high vibrational information and instructions and things and actions to take, right? So pretty much everything I do now is as a result of I'm being guided by listening to my own higher self. So one of the things that came to me this morning to share was that a big part of self-healing with energy is the discovery of subconscious and unconscious patterns of energy, emotion, thought, feelings, and beliefs that color our perceptions and govern what we attract and how we respond to what life brings us. Subconscious patterns are the energies we know. Subconscious patterns our energies, we know they're there. We know that these subconscious patterns are there when we really tune in and we notice the program that's running in the background of our life. So with a little relaxed focus, we can easily tune into those subconscious programs, and once we know some tools to do this, we can learn how to rewrite those subconscious programs and begin to have a subconsciously, more preferred experiences that start to show up, right? Louise Hay's work uncovered many subconscious patterns that become evident as she worked with people over the years. So one of her books are some that I like to recommend for people. Unconscious patterns are deeper and they're more hidden energy. And this may be epigenetic, traumatic energy of emotion that's passed along in our DNA. So epigenetics is really family history of trauma. The emotions that get passed on and not any specific disease state. A fascinating series of books that speak about unconscious patterns is the Convoluted Universe series by Dolores Cannon. She spent years taking clients into a deep hypnotic state to uncover some really mind-blowing things about the unconscious. So if you want to know more about that, I would say dive into those books because, man, there's some pretty mind-blowing stuff that is happening on an unconscious level all the time. And of course, it's unconscious, so we don't have a lot of awareness of those things. The unconscious aspect of the body, so your physical body, how it functions on a cellular level, and how qi flows through your body is also visible in patterns of disease and health. And the ancient Chinese figured this out millennia ago. So, there's just so much going on an unconscious level. And the truth is that we don't know all the things going on the subconscious and unconscious energy of our bodies, but we don't really need to. There are emerging and ancient tools for self-discovery, self-awareness, self-healing, and self-love that are transformational. And that all that's required is a willingness to allow yourself to receive and commit to learning and implementing the tools that resonate with you. Okay, so just wanted to share that. It just kind of came to me this morning. And so, again, like I said just a minute ago, I stopped reading and watching and listening and seeking and looking outside of myself. And I just began to implement things and do it every day consistently. And I developed a personal practice of bettering myself. And I discovered that one process that really makes the biggest impact for me, and it's the process that I do every day. And I want to share that with you. So before we jump into that, I just want to recap that 30 days of focus or receptivity will result in new habits. That, actually, let me come over here because I can't see that. Oops, go back. One top level thing to focus on will result in many lower level goals also being met. That there are 4 disciplines of execution that will give you a foolproof system for getting the wildly important goals in your life accomplished, or the dream version. And that energy healing tools and techniques can be implemented with amazing results. And that developing a daily practice and committing to it will change you. Okay, so that's what we've talked about so far. We haven't really jumped into the specific practice, but I am going to, I promise you, give you something that you can implement today that will make changes and that you will experience real change in your life. So take a minute right now to just think about what is your wildly important goal, or what is the dream version of your life that you wish to live? Is it earning more money? Is it having better health? Is it experiencing better relationships, losing weight, finding your purpose? What is the thing that's really tugging at you? The things that feel like they're missing maybe right now. Freedom, a life of freedom, maybe. So just take a moment to think about that. And if you have any questions or comments, you can post your questions and comments anytime. I'm going to be checking in to see the comments. And so I'm looking right now, and I see that Laura and Rachel are here. So welcome, guys. I'm glad that you're here. And I see that Carol's here too. So great. And so now that you've taken a minute to think about what you really want, and again, this can be hopefully from the 7 days of the self-love challenge, where you spent some time really diving into noticing what came up for you, what thoughts and feelings were coming up for you as you did that challenge, about what you really want, who you really are, what you really believe about yourself, right? So those are some things that you can begin to, we're going to plug into this process, okay? And what single lead action would make it all possible? So developing a self-love practice that will heal your energy, that will help you to meditate and be mindful, that will help you let go of baggage and resistance to change, that will replace bad habits with better ones, and that will help you to discover root causes of what's really going on with you. And how will you track your progress? And so I highly recommend keeping a journal of some kind. How you journal is completely up to you. Words, doodles, voice recordings, vision boards. I got my vision board over there. I got my phone that I use the notes on all the time. I have a little journal that was given to me that I do keep lots of notes in. And so it's important, very important for this process that you keep track of your progress, and that you have quarterly check-ins with yourself, that you read through your journal entries. And this will give you great insight into your results. You will find out that you are indeed making changes with this work that you're doing, and it will be because you're doing it. And then accountability, having a support system. That slide's a little funky, sorry. Having weekly meetings with a friend, partner, or coach as your accountability partner will help prevent disengagement from your process. And there are other ways you can set up and maintain a support system. So begin to think about what ways you implement as you continue to practice your tools. So we're here to talk about this today. Practicing self-love can change you. How? How do we do this? And this is where we're going to actually really start to dive into the meat of this. So if you, again, you're going to need a journal, you're going to need a pen and paper, you're going to need to be writing some things down, okay? So what we're going to do is uncover your soul level intentions, and we're going to be creating your own affirmations. And this is something that you can do very easily, simply with 20 minutes a day. Just before bedtime or when you wake up in the morning, whatever you choose, take a break throughout the day to focus in on doing this, and you will begin to see changes in your life. Affirmations are an extremely, extremely powerful tool. And so I talked about the one thing that I discovered over doing 30-day challenges over and over and over. And it was that what I kept coming back to, if I wanted to experience something different, what ultimately I kept coming back to is it's the words that I speak to myself. It's the affirmations that I speak. And very, very clearly at one point, I came to this understanding that the power of the affirmation, it's not just being positive. It's not just having a positive statement that you read, or, a meme that you saw somewhere. And it's like, oh yeah, that's really positive. That sounds really good. That has no power to help you change. The power of the affirmation is that, and I'm going to read this to you. So I'm going to invite you to just listen. I'm going to read it slowly. and I'm going to invite you to listen to each word and take in the meaning of each word for yourself, and really feel into what the power of the affirmation is, okay? So when I speak an affirmation, I affirm it is true in the present moment, right now, the truth of my desired experience, while reaching for the feeling and the vision of it. As I affirm, it is without doubt, I have no doubt, that the truth of my preferred experience, or something even better, is entirely possible, entirely probable, and already existing somewhere. As I affirm, it is with the knowledge that I am actually creating within myself the vibration of my preferred experience, the feeling of it, which is the first manifestation, because everything is created twice, once as a thought and once as a physical event. And as I affirm, it is with the knowledge that what I have become, this vibration, is attracted to me. It has to enter my experience per the law of attraction. The law of attraction is a universal law. It is unyielding, and it is true. And finally, as I affirm, it is with the knowledge that this moment is the only one. I'll say that one again. I affirm with the knowledge that this moment is the only one, and I must use it deliberately to my advantage. Okay, so I invite you just to continue to breathe into that. Breathe into that awareness. All right, so it is workshop time, and we are going to dive into this. I really encourage you guys to ask your questions. If you have a specific thing that is coming up for you, go ahead and please post those questions, and I'm going to be checking in with the questions. All right, so get a paper and a pen or your journal and get relaxed, and we're going to dive in. And you can type in, just, let me know how you guys are doing as well. If everyone's doing okay, just give me a yes. Let me know that you're doing good, that you're following me, and everything's making sense for you so far. All right. So one of the most important aspects of doing your inner work is that you really need to get clear on what you really want. You need to really take the time to access your soul level goals. Do you know what you really want? And do you know why you really want it? And developing a mindfulness practice can help you. So we're not going to talk about mindfulness today, but that is something that I will invite you to learn more from me later. Okay. But this is how we find our dream version. And so the 7-day self-love challenge was really about that. It was really about getting clear about being intentional about how you feel about yourself. And as you begin to know yourself on this level, It will be so much easier to make the changes that you really want to make, because you'll begin to understand, begin to understand the language of your own body and why things are happening the way that they're happening. So what do you want, and why do you want it? And why do you really want it? And, wildly important goals, soul level goals, are not a priority for most of us. It's not a priority to know this information. What is a priority is the stuff that's urgent in your daily life. So urgent things, going to work, taking care of the kids, making sure the bills are paid, managing and maintaining the status quo of the life that you've already created. Most of us, get to the point in our lives where we've created something without really having any deliberate intention behind it. It's just, this is how life has unfolded, right? So the things that are urgent, that pop up in our daily existence, our daily life, that's not soul level goals to achieve those things. Something deeper is really under the surface. And my belief is that is why so many people have anxiety and depression, because they're not listening. They're not letting themselves really hear what their inner spirit is saying. This is what I'm here for. I'm not here just to pay the bills. I'm not here just to raise the kids. I'm not here just to, that's all that, all those things can be beautiful additions, can be icing on the cake, but there's something more. And so this process is to help you to uncover what there is that's more. All right. And then the lead actions, accessing deeper awareness and mindfulness practices. So this is about, utilizing guided meditations to journey to access your soul level awareness and to remember your true intentions. So this soul level awareness ultimately leads to two powerful aspects of being that cannot be overlooked. One is self-love, and the other is the infinite potential of the present moment. So you guys will hear me say that a lot if you continue to work with me and listen to my videos and things like that. You'll hear me talk about these things, self-love and the infinite potential of the present moment. These are so, so important and so powerful to helping to really begin to shake up and break loose all of the, hard impacted garbage, energetic garbage that we carry around, to move it out of the way so that we can begin to actually see what's true for us. So right now, we're going to do a guided meditation. Okay, it's going to be a short one. And we're going to just take this moment to really get in touch with what we've been working on. If you did the 7-day self-love challenge, you'll maybe have a little bit of a head start. You can reflect on the things that you discovered about yourself through that process. If you didn't, that's okay. Just let whatever comes up in the moment come up. Okay, and don't filter or censor anything that comes up for you in this guided meditation. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the guided meditation now. So I just invite you to take some deep breaths, to get relaxed, get comfortable. And just begin to focus on your breathing. Bring your attention to the tip of your nose. And just begin to notice the sensation of air movement into your nostrils and out. You might notice a change in the temperature. The air might feel cool going in, and it feels warm coming out. An amazing, miraculous thing is happening Every time you inhale, your body knows how to do this to convert this oxygen that goes into your body and into the cells, into your bloodstream, and instantly convert the waste product, the CO2 that needs to be released from the cell, and bring that out of your lungs and out through your exhale. Isn't that amazing that your body can do that? Something that you don't even think about. I heard a comedian not too long ago talking about those movies where they say, we're only using 10% of our brain. What would happen if you used 100% of your brain? And he said, wait a minute, we are using 100% of our brain. I mean, just imagine if you had to control all of the automatic processes that your body is doing. I think it takes 100% of your brain to do that, right? You're doing it without even having awareness. It's pretty funny the way he said it. Just continue to breathe and relax. And with every breath, just let yourself become a little bit more relaxed. And as you drop into this deepened state of relaxation, start to ask yourself a question or inform yourself, depending on what works better for you. Sometimes asking is better for some people, sometimes informing is better. You can either ask or make a statement that there's something that needs to be known about my true intentions for my life, my deepest soul level intentions for my life, the thing that would make me most satisfied or the most peaceful or the most energized. And I would like to have awareness of what that is. And the cool thing about guided meditation is that we don't have to actually go looking for the answers. We just need to be open and receptive to allow the answer to drop in. So I'm going to be silent and I'm going to give you some time to let the information just come up for you.
Oh, I'm thinking for you. So,
Let the answer just come up for you. And maybe bring more gratitude and appreciation in. And just say thank you for whatever reveals itself. Stay in that space for just another couple of minutes and don't go too deep. Don't fly away from the room. Just stay with that thought process of what's really at the core of my being that I'm really ready to begin to experience. You may take some time to write that down now as you bring your awareness back to the moment. Take another couple of deep breaths. Wiggle your fingers and toes and open your eyes. I don't know if you guys heard that. My son came out just a minute ago to say he loves me and he appreciates me. All right, so we're going to move on to the next thing. So the lead actions that we're going to use today are the affirmations, okay? And that's for changing your energy and clearing resistance. And we did talk about what the affirmation is already, but just to give you some more details on that, the affirmation is a short mantra that resonates with the frequency of your preferred experience. So by first identifying your soul level intention and in identifying any anti-intentions that arise. We're going to create affirmations based on those intentions using I am statements in positive present tense, remembering that everything's happening now. There isn't any other time to affirm. So we don't talk about what will happen. It's not about the future of what we want to create. It's what's happening now. This is the only moment that I have to create the feeling, the vibration, the vision of what it is that my intention is. And these words are very short, powerful statements that resonate with that vibrational frequency. Okay. So you're literally creating an alchemy with your words that will begin to have a ripple effect of energy into your being and out from you that will begin to attract those experiences that resonate and that match that frequency of vibration. Powerful stuff. So let's talk a little bit more about anti-intentions. Okay, so the anti-intention is going to be that negative self-talk that, pops in as you're thinking about whatever it is that you're wanting to create more of. So did anybody have that happen? Did anybody notice, like, as you're thinking about all the wonderful things that you really want, all the reasons why you can't have that? If anybody has something like that they want to share, go ahead and type it in the comments, and we will address that. We'll break it down and use it to create the affirmation. So I'll give you guys a real example. Okay. But yeah, so the anti-intention is going to be, that negative self-talk, that questioning, the doubt, trying to figure out how I can create my life the way that I want to create it when I have, this limitation, that limitation. I'm not this, I'm not that. I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that. Okay. So that is very important to pay attention to. We don't ignore that. We need to acknowledge that we have that energy in our body field. And that's I think the missing piece with a lot of this, that when we're doing affirmations and we're reading other people's affirmations and we're reading positive quotes and things like that, we never really address the underlying energy of that doubt and the fear and the negative self-talk. So this process helps us to address that and helps us to replace it with something much more powerful and deliberate and intentional. Okay? So let's do that. Did anybody have an anti-intention that came up? So you can go ahead and share that if you did. So what we're going to do, that slide that's up there now is a recap, so we're not quite there yet. What we're going to do is we're actually going to take some time to look at the intentions that you've set. So what came up for you in that meditation? You're going to go ahead and list out 1 or 2 or 3 things that came up for you in terms of what is my soul level intention. So, if somebody wants to type in the comments, you can let me know what those were that came up for you. What what comes up for me is really creating a life that's filled with love and freedom to move about freely in the world, to be able to go places and do things and have experiences that are beautiful. Those are some of my soul level intentions. And some of the anti-intentions that come up for me, well, I don't have enough money to travel. I don't, I mean, for me right now, that's kind of the biggest one that usually comes up. And so what we'll do is we'll look at those and then create an affirmation. So like I said, the affirmation is that very simple, short statement that either matches the frequency. So for the soul level intention, we want to match the frequency. And for the anti-intention, we want to create something that is the opposite of that in frequency. And you will know when you feel an affirmation that resonates with you. You will feel that. It will feel good to you to say that. If it doesn't feel good to you to say the affirmation, then we need to modify the affirmation until it feels good, until you can actually say the affirmation and feel the sensation of this thing being true, of it being active in your life in the moment right now. And so for a lot of people, the affirmations around money don't resonate. They don't feel right. They don't feel true. And so that's why a lot of times the affirmations around money don't work, because you don't feel the truth of it, right? So for me, the intention to live a life of freedom where I'm having beautiful experiences. A very simple, short affirmation around that would be, I am free. And as I say the affirmation to myself in my meditation practice or in my mindfulness practice or in my contemplation, I am free. I let myself really feel into that statement. And I let my imagination take me to visions of what that looks like for me. What does freedom look like for me? And maybe spend 5 or 10 minutes in that vision where you're really feeling and seeing, letting your imagination run wild with that. And as you do that, what is happening is you are literally creating the energy of that, because everything is created twice. Once as a thought, feeling, energy, thought form, and then once as an actual physical event, right? So everything that you can look at right now, the chair you're sitting in, someone had to think that up. The cell phone, someone had to think that up, right? So everything everything comes into existence as a thought form first. And it's the power of that thought form, the energy of that actually brings it into fruition, brings it into reality. So that's what you're doing when you create that affirmation. So when I say I am free, and I feel and believe into that statement without letting any doubts or negative thoughts come in, then I'm creating that. And that will very soon be my experience. Now, for the anti-intention, well, I don't have enough money to go where I want to go. So the opposite thought to that is, I am abundant. I am abundant. And I do feel into the frequency of that. That resonates with me. I am abundant cash flow. I'm abundantly receiving money in amounts that help me to do all the things that I want to do. That's what I am abundant means to me. And because I can feel that frequency, I can feel that vibration, I can sit and envision that being the truth, right? I can definitely feel that. I can envision myself going to the bank and withdrawing, $1,000 and just going shopping, going and doing whatever I want to do. I can envision myself booking a flight on a credit card and saying, oh, this is no problem. I can do this. So all of the things that would be created in that moment are the things that I'm envisioning now and creating the feeling of that within myself. If saying I'm abundant doesn't work for you, if I'm abundant doesn't feel like that just isn't true, like if I say that and it just doesn't feel true, then there are words that I can add to that affirmation that can help me. And the words are, I am willing to allow. I am willing to allow myself to be abundant. So that can change the energy around that. Okay. So I just invite you to do this for yourself. I really encourage you to just do it right now. That's what we're here for. That was the point of having this workshop, was to give you guys the opportunity to really implement and begin to start a practice for yourself of using these tools, because I guarantee you, if you do this today, tomorrow you will notice there will be synchronicities. You will see that your own thoughts and feelings, how powerful you are as a creator within yourself, and that your own thoughts and feelings have a lot to do with your experiences, and that you can choose those for yourself deliberately. You just have to practice. Just have to practice, and it needs to be a daily, consistent practice. Okay. So Laura says, her soul level goal is to be healthy. Continuing affirmations and meditations to help me with my growth. So for you, Laura, I would say that the really the easiest affirmation would be, I am healthy. I am healthy. And so it's like creating a symbol, right? Because the symbol has more energy attached to it. Here's a perfect example of that. When my son was little, we would drive past McDonald's. He was like 2 years old, right? And we drive past McDonald's and he'd see the big M and he'd say, fries, fries. He'd point out the window and start asking me for fries. So the symbol in his mind, he knew that symbol had to do with that yummy food that he really wanted to eat. So when we're doing this process, we're creating this affirmation, it's a symbol, okay? And the symbology of it is this lengthy, maybe page or 2 pages of intentions, So you can write out the intention, and I am healthy can be the symbol that you use to create that energy, to create that feeling within yourself. Does that make sense? So I encourage you to list out everything that being healthy means to you. That's your soul level intention. List out all of the things you'll be able to do when you become the health that you are, right? And write down all of the reasons why. Why do I want to be healthy? Well, because I'll be a better grandma, or I'll, be able to go and do, X, Y, and Z, these different things, right? So you want to write all that out. It can be pages and pages long, but your affirmation is going to be that very short statement. I am healthy. That's what that means. All of that information is attached symbolically to that phrase, and that's how it works. So the next one, continuing affirmation and meditations to help me with my growth. And so that could be just as simple as the affirmation is, there were a few things that came to me. So one was I practice, I practice being me. And again, when you are being authentically you, when you are loving yourself authentically, and this is, again, you can even say, I am love. When you love yourself authentically and you are being true to yourself, you're going to do the things that will help you to grow. It's going to become a natural byproduct of being in that frequency, that vibration of resonance within yourself. So continuing your affirmations and meditations are going to be born out of this desire to love yourself more. This is what loving myself shows up as, right? Doing my work, being committed. Will Smith has a video on Facebook that's circulating around now about being what did he say? Disciplined. Being disciplined. To me, it's about commitment. Not necessarily a discipline, but a commitment. When you make that commitment to yourself, you're going to continue your affirmations and meditations. You're going to dive in deeper. You're going to be okay with the discomfort that can come up when we really start to look at what's in the way. And it's not easy and it's not comfortable, but it is simple. It is very simple. So does that help, Laura? Does that make sense for you? You can let me know in the comments if that makes sense for you. So one thing that I do want to add here too is that, of course, when those anti-intentions come up, when sometimes like I said, there's unconscious things that come up, and we have tools like emotion code. Sometimes some people do tapping. But there's different tools that you can use that can actually help to clear away some of that unconscious energy. Because, really, when you have that unconscious stuff going on, there's no amount of thinking about it that can change it because it's unconscious. So using those tools, emotion code is a really powerful one that I always advocate to help in this process. And you can specifically use emotion code for those anti-intentions when you know that you have a doubt or a fear. Is there an underlying trapped emotion that I'm carrying? Is there an inherited trapped emotion that I'm carrying around that's making me have this doubt or this fear? And you can do that process to clear those things out of the way. And if you don't know how to do emotion code, then that's something else that I can help you with as well. All right. Okay, so hopefully that gave you enough information to begin to practice this on your own. Again, it is so simple, and it is truly just a matter of implementing it through this framework, the 4 disciplines. So it's number 1. Let's see, do I have that on this slide? Yeah. So doing it every day for 30 days. Using your mindfulness practice to reach alpha, reach for the feeling of your affirmations as you say them in the infinite potential of the present moment. Using clearing tools to release resistance that may come up, recording your observations, and sharing with your accountability partner. Right? So the disciplines, number 1 is knowing your own truth, disciplining yourself to actually dive in and look at that, setting your intentions, using that process to set your intentions. The lead action is the mindfulness practice and creating the affirmations and using any, tools that will help you clear resistance that comes up. Step number 3 is recording your observations. It's really important. I mean, I, went back and I have another journal over there on the couch, and I was looking through it last night, and I'm just like, wow, like all the things that I was doing, I am, I just now can see like all the things that I was doing are creating this new level of awareness that I have, and it's powerful to actually look at it and see that you are making a difference for yourself. And then the last thing, of course, is sharing with your accountability partner. So this is a practice manifesto, and this is for you. I just like to do this because I really feel like that's one of the missing pieces, is being accountable and committing to yourself. So the commitment manifesto just goes like this. It says, I, and just your name, commit to myself to practice the one thing that will make it possible. Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. Can you guys please be quiet for just a little bit longer? Thank you. Sorry. Okay, so I commit to myself to practice the one thing that will make it possible for me to experience more self-love and the dream version of my life. I commit to myself to practice for a minimum of 30 consecutive days. I affirm that as I practice this one thing, I discover great life-changing things about myself, and I create preferred experiences for myself. So be it, and so it is. All right, so that is really what I wanted to share today, what I had to share today. And I really hope that you guys gained some new insights. I hope that this was something that was helpful and useful for you. And, definitely let me know what your thoughts and feelings are on it. And before we leave today, there are a few things that I just really want to give you. I am, coming from the heart with everything that I do. And I really want to see everyone succeed with their own goals and their self-healing journey. And so for being here today, I'm going to gift each person a free upgrade when the paid version of the Healers Toolkit Online Tribe launches. So you can sign up for that right now. I will post the links here in the group, so you'll be able to access that. So that's just a link here. You'll be able to go there and sign up for the free version, and then when the paid version launches, then you'll get the free upgrade. The Healers Toolkit referral program, I do want to share that with you guys as well. And you can share any of the content that I'm creating. I have some really big plans for what I want to create here. I'm going to be inviting other practitioners as well to share their programs. They're going to have to be, curated and vetted. So it's not just going to be any old thing that someone else is doing, but stuff that is really, truly beneficial, that I know works, that I have personal experience with working with these people, and that I want you all to know about as well. So I'm going to be putting a lot of new programs up over the course of the year. And as my thanks to you, and to just sort of amplify the energy of giving and receiving, I created this referral partner program. So again, I'm going to post that link. You can go check it out. It's $9 to sign up to be a part of that. If you are already a Healers Toolkit member, then that is something that is actually free to you. And you can you'll have a link, your own affiliate link, that you can share with whoever you feel would want to jump in and know more about what we're doing here. And I pay 25% of whatever the fee for the program is. So, for example, if you had someone that you wanted to introduce to the 13-week wellness program through your referral, then at the end of 30 days after you made the referral to them, you would receive 25% cash back. I would pay through PayPal. Okay. So that is something that I would love for you to take advantage of. And then, of course, for a deeper dive, and if you haven't already joined the 13-week total wellness experience, you can connect with me for a free 45-minute clarity session, and I will talk to you about what you really have going on and how in 13 weeks we can implement these tools together and really focus in on what it is that you really want to change. And today, there's an opportunity for the first 10 people who sign up now to get a backstage pass into the beta program that's running now. So I do have a handful of really wonderful, beautiful healers that are in the program right now. And so you'll be able to have early access to the private Facebook group and 4 free one-on-one sessions with me, in addition to the group program, which is a $759 value, and I'm giving that away for free. So I thank you, ladies, for being here today, and I am so, so, so grateful for each one of you. In various ways, you all are enriching my life, and I just want you to know that it makes a difference when you guys show up live. It really helps me. I feel your energy, and it really helps me. So namaste. I thank you for being here, and I'm going to let you guys get on with the rest of your afternoon. It is 2:22 p.m., an auspicious time to end. And so with no further ado, I will say good afternoon, much love, and we'll see you next time.